Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we're working on a Husqvarna Y2H 1854-2 lawn tractor riding mower. Anyways, it hasn't been used in a couple years, and we're gonna check the blades, check the belts, service the engine, and check everything out. Make sure it's good to go for the mowing season. So, hope you enjoy the video. Okay, before I jack this thing up, I always like taking these hoods off because, quite frankly, a new hood's probably $400 or $500 for one of these, and I don't want to break the hinges off of these or anything. So, pretty much just unplug the lights and just pop it right on off there, and it gives you more room to work. I'll go ahead and jack it up here so we can get to underneath and check out the blades and the belts and everything. See, we got a flat tire on this too on the front end. If you jack up your lawnmower this way, put the chain between the front frame and like the steering bar and everything, so you don't bend that steering bar. And they have lifts for these too, but they only go so far up in front unless you can buy at the store. I like doing it this way. There, I got easy access to the blades and everything now. And on these particular lawnmowers, it's a 5/8 inch socket to take these blades off. You can see that blade right there is bent. Must have hit something. So if you put both blades together, they should be uniform across the whole thing. As you can see, that blade just whacked out, and then the other blades. So I'm gonna have to put a new set of blades on there. I ain't be able to sharpen these. So. Okay, I just put the new blades on, so we're gonna lower this down a little bit, and we're gonna check out the deck belt and make sure all the idler pulleys are free and everything. As you can see, this part of the belt is on the wrong side of that pulley there. And this belt's about ready to break. So we're just going to go ahead and take this belt off and put a new one on there. That thing's just all chewed up. That belt's in really bad shape. It would not last at a mowing season, let alone one mowing. So I'll find a new belt for that. Now, some of these cool assemblies, there's a grease zerk on top of these mandrels, whatever you want to call them. We're gonna grease them up real good. There's a couple on the front tires we're gonna grease up. If you see any zerks, make sure you grease them up really good. It'll make the bearings and everything last much longer with some grease on them. So as you're doing all this, just check for grease zerks and get them greased. Okay, I finally found the build for it on this particular Husqvarna. It's a 42-inch deck. It takes a 100-inch belt, half-inch wide. Then when you're reinstalling these belts, there's usually like a little picture on the front edge of the deck on the other side on how to do it. But on the pulleys under there, if it's a pulley like this, that's where you put the V part of the pulley in. If it's like a flat piece, that's like called a flat idler pulley. It goes in the back side, so that will kind of help you figure out how to put these on up there if that sticker fell off. So it's kind of hard to tape this. I like putting it on the motor pulley first, and come around. There's like a clip right behind that pulley there that keeps the belt from falling off. You put it around the blade pulley. Like that, and we'll do the other side like that. So if it's a flat pulley, you put the back side of the belt on. If it's a V pulley, you put the V part of the belt in it. And I like to engage the blades while it's not running. Just engage the blades and make sure the belt is nice and tight. And it's on all the pulleys. And I'll grab a blade here and spin it. Make sure nothing's bounding up or anything. And now I can go ahead and grease all them grease zerks now. And I gotta fix this tire over here. Then I can go ahead and level the deck. A lot of grease in there. And on these front spindles, there's one there. And one on this side over here. Then they have them on the rims here. I'm not going to do this side until I take the tire off because that's not the flat tire. I don't want to have grease on the axle and take it off and it'll get all messy for me. And on this quill over here, don't have a grease zerk on it. Some come with them and some don't. So I take it the one on this side over here was a replacement because a lot of the replacement mandrels or quills have zerks on them. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that tire off and fix it real quick. And then go to leveling the deck up. Okay, I'm gonna show you this deck leveling step up in the air because if I do it in the ground, you probably won't see how to do it, but I got one of these things here. You set this part here on a flat surface, and this here it rides on the bottom edge of your blade. And you do one side, and you do the other side. Say one side's like this, and the other side's like this. And you'll know this by when you're mowing, if it leaves the line, the width of the deck, when you're going back and forth on your lawn, that's usually either have a low tire, you check the pressures in the tires, make sure the two back ones are the same, and the two front ones are the same. They'll always say on the side of the tire what the pressure should be. And if that don't solve it, then that means your deck's not level. And a lot of riders, there's this adjustment right here. Some have them on both sides and some just have them on one. This particular lawnmower only has it on one side. So you put this thing on the right side and level, then you come over here and you'll adjust that nut right there, either higher or lower it. And if that don't solve your problem in the lines in the center of your deck, that means you have a bent blade. So if it's not cutting level, check the tire pressure first. It always says it on the side of the tire. Then check the deck. Then when you do that, let me move this over here. When you do this, make sure the lawnmower's not running, but have your blade parallel and set this on the floor. Then this will set on the bottom of the blade. That's how you do that. Then if your deck is low in the front and high in the back, you got this bar right here. You got this bar right here. A lot of times, after a time, where this hinge goes through here, you'll egg shape it out, and that could stretch it out. Or if you're mowing and you hit a big rock or like one of them water shut off bells that sit on top, you'll hit this and you can actually stretch this out here. So that's what this nut here is for. Then to do that, Just have the blades parallel with the lawnmower, and then check the front, and then go in the back and check the rear, and then make sure the lawnmower's not running when you do that, because it's going to be on the ground. But that's how you do the deck. I figure I should show you this way because you can't see all that when it's on the ground. But when you level the front of the deck to the back of the deck, have the blade here and do both sides, and more likely you have tightened this up because that hole gets egg shaped out, or you hit something and it stretches this out, or actually pulls the front of the deck out a little bit. So that's how you level the deck. Oh, and you can buy these online, or like the big box stores that sell lawnmowers, or your local hardware store that sells new lawnmowers. They should have these. They're under $10. I think I paid like $4.99 for this one on eBay or something like that. There's fancier ones, but they all do the same thing. As long as the deck's level, they work good. So okay, our next step is to drain the oil. And this one there, this is a Briggs & Stratton Intech 18.5 force engine. And on a lot of these Husqvarnas, you just kind of pop this panel off right here. And there's like a, move that headlight thing. There's a little drain system on here. You pop that plunger off. Then when if you bought these mowers new, in the bag with all the information, it should have like a little hose in there. If you don't, you can buy one of these like little hoses that the hardware store. That way it won't drip on your frame. Let's go ahead and pop that on there. You turn it and pull it out, and the oil starts draining. And I like to pop the dipstick out. It just mainly reminders, don't start up till you put oil back in it. But we'll go ahead and let that drain. While it's doing that, we're probably going to change the spark plug in the air filter. And the oil filter's on the other side, but we'll change that when the oil's all drained. There's the oil filter. Right here, we just pop that panel off there. What? See how dirty them filters are? It's good to change them once a year. If you're in a really dirty climate, maybe once a month, blow them out. And we'll get a new filter for that. Then we'll go ahead and change the spark plug while we have. There we go. And what I like to do, I like to twist that boot a little bit, because sometimes them boots get stuck on the spark plug. Twist it back and forth before I pull it off, so you don't tear that boot. And it just pops right off. I'll go grab a spark plug real quick. Then when you take your plug out, you'll be able to tell how the motor's, how the gas has been burning. If it's like really black and sooty, that's a good sign that the air filter's clogged up. And if there's pieces of aluminum and stuff, that's not a good sign, because that means it got really hot at one time. Burning alright, burning kind of black, because that's probably because of that air filter. Grab our new plug. I like using the original on the Briggs. I like using the Briggs spark plugs. Champion, it's a what, R19 or something like that, I believe it is. Get that snugged up. And always check the gap. They're like 35 thousandths. There that is. No, I'll just wait till the oil drains. Then we'll do the other side. Okay, all the oil finally drained all out of it. So on these, you just push them in and turn it till it locks. And always make sure, sometimes these things like vibrating loose, so make sure it's nice and tight. We'll put that cap back on it. Now we can go to the other side and change the oil filter. Okay, we're on the oil filter side. And we'll just lift up on that little housing there, and we can get to the fuel filter and the oil filter. Grab a wrench. And some of them that down there tight, I use like a oil filter wrench like this. It should be hand tight. Don't need to over tighten them. I got my pan on the ground here. Let that drain out a little. While it's doing that, I'll go ahead and change fuel filters. And on these kind of filters, the big side towards the carburetor. There we go. And we'll wipe off this excess oil around the oil filter. And all we need to be is hand tight. You don't need to torque them down. Then I got this new air filter. I like putting the ones with that pre-filter on them. It's just a foam filter that goes on top of the air filter, and they seem to last a lot longer. Make sure it pops in there in place. And go ahead and lock that up. So now all we gotta do is put the oil in. And on the 31 cubic inch and the 33 cubic inch Briggs and Stratton, it's like right about 1.5 quarts, a 30 weight oil. And I'll put 1.5 quarts in there, and I'll start up and let it run for like about 20-30 seconds and shut it off, and check the oil. That way the oil will circulate through the oil filter and everything. So that's what I'm gonna do next. Okay, I got the hood back on and everything, so see how it runs. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video, and appreciate you watching. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good afternoon.